Nobody took it all. Not Saturday, not Sunday, not even Monday. Every time somebody got close to the whole prize, the table looked around and started talking, and they all found a way to split the ending. Lovely day, poker enthusiast, and welcome to episode 341 of Sal Scoop. 3 nights of poker, live games, online games, satellites, tickets, cash, and enough deals to make you think Sal's room had turned into a used car lot.
Trades accepted by cash, tickets, poker chips, maybe a half-decent snowblower. Everything must go before August the 1st.
But that is really what stood out. Nobody took it all, and I don't mean that negatively, because people hear the word chop and sometimes they act like nobody won. But that isn't what happened. People played, people battled, people survived. Then they found an ending everybody could live with.
Which is Newfoundland poker for I'm tired, you're tired, and neither one of us wants to lose the next flip by.
Saturday night at Sal's room, Sensational Saturday fired off. 22 players walked through the door. They made 21 rebuys, and the prize pool reached $1,585. When the dust settled, 5 players were left. Rick King, Robin Moore, Justin Crocker, Roseanne Power, and Murray. They made a 5-way chop, and everybody walked away with a smile.
5-way chop? That wasn't a payout buy. That was a family-sized pizza. Everybody got a slice. Nobody got the little plastic table in the middle.
And that is the first example of what I'm talking about. 5 people got deep. 5 people had chips. 5 people had a reason to keep playing. But they looked at the situation, found a number that worked, and ended the night happy.
Rick King was involved too. So somewhere during negotiations, I assume Rick quietly moved half the chips to his side and then asked why everybody was taking so long.
Online Saturday night, the daily free buy had 21 entries. Jughead and 77GB scooped the tickets. And as far as I can tell, that was the online action for Saturday.
1 game, 21 entries, 2 tickets. Nice and tidy. The internet looked at the live room and said, "You crowd go on without me. I'm taking the evening off."
Sunday online was where the schedule really loaded up. It started with the Sunday Micro Millions, and 77GB scooped the win in that one.
There he is again, 77GB. At this point, he doesn't log into the club. The club logs into him.
Then came the Facebook subscriber free roll. Ryland scooped the win, and with it a $60 Sadie seat.
Now that is a free roll. Most subscriber giveaways give you a coffee mug. Roland got a $60 poker seat. Though depending on the table, the mug might be less stressful.
Congratulations, Roland. That is a serious ticket, and it gives him a shot in the big game Sadie. The daily free buy came next. Lone Wolf and J.E. for the win scooped those tickets.
Lone Wolf and J.E. for the win. Those are strong poker names. One sounds like he works alone. The other has already written the ending.
Then the SummerSlam Step 2. 3 tickets came out of that one. 77GB, All In 10 Jack, and myself.
Look at you sneaking your own name into the winners. Very casual too. 77GB, All In 10 Jack, and 1 internationally recognized poker broadcaster.
I won a ticket buy. I'm allowed to say it.
You certainly are. You normally say it 4 times and put it on a mug.
The big online game Sunday was the $550 big game Sunday showdown. 14 entries. Mike Hines finished runner-up for $220, and scooping the seat for August 1st $550 game was Tina Chafe. Congratulations, Tina.
Tina has the seat, Mike has $220, and everybody else has a story about how their ace-king couldn't hold.
That is normally how it goes. Nobody remembers the hand they misplayed. They remembered the river card personally attacking their family.
That 7 had it in for me, Phil. Yes, bye. The 7 met you once in 2009 and never forgave you for something back then.
The Sunday Flop and Pop had 26 pairs. Frosty Buds finished third for $70. 77GB took second for $70.43. And Bubba Chubb took $93.57 for the win. That one ended in a 3-way deal.
There it is again. 5-way Saturday, 3-way Flop and Pop. Everybody was chopping so much, The club should have issued safety goggles.
And 77 GB was everywhere. Sunday, the Micro Millions winner, Step 2 ticket, second in the Flop and Pop. The man was collecting results like loyalty points.
One more win and he gets a free sandwich.
Phil's Deep Stack Thrills had 17 entrants. Z-Rex finished second for $21.85. And scooping the win for $29.50 was Ty Rye.
Ty Rye beat Z-Rex. That sounds less like poker results and more like two wrestlers fighting in a community center.
That wrapped Sunday. A three-way online deal, seats won, tickets won, and 77 GB leaving fingerprints on half the schedule.
Nobody took it all, but 77 GB certainly had a fair crack at it.
Then we moved into Monday. Live at Sal's room, the $550 big game satellite kicked off. 9 players, 7 rebuys, and it eventually came down to myself and Steve McMillan, with exactly the same number of chips, similar anyway.
Exactly the same? That sounds suspicious.
Wasn't suspicious.
2 friends, same stack, neither available August 1st. Then suddenly there's a deal? I have seen weaker cases on true crime television, Philip.
Neither Steve nor I can play August the 1st game, so instead of playing out for a ticket neither one of us could use, we made a deal. We took $370 each and sold a ticket to Calvin Lake.
That is efficient poker buy. The finalists couldn't attend. Calvin wanted the seat. Everybody got what they needed. Even the ticket found a loving home by.
Exactly. And that is another kind of deal. It wasn't about fear. It wasn't about somebody refusing to gamble. It was just a practical solution. Steve and I got paid. Calvin got into the game. And the seat did not go to waste.
Poker people solving problems like adults. Terrifying stuff. Somebody alert the authorities.
Monday online started with the first afternoon free roll. 77 GB scooped the ticket.
Of course he did.
Then the daily free buy. 77 GB scooped another ticket.
Of course he did again. At this point, stop announcing him. Just put ticket winner, you know who.
The Monday Flop and Pop had 28 entries. Bay Guy finished third for $61.28. Then No Deals Dalton and I got heads up and made a deal. I took $94.39. Dalton took $96.33.
No Deals Dalton made a deal?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
Then the name is false advertising, Phil. That would be like you calling yourself Quiet Reasonable Philip.
No Deals Dalton is now making enough deals that I think we need to review the branding.
Deals Dalton. There. Fixed it. Saved you a committee meeting, but
again, nobody took it all. Dalton took a little more. I took a little less. We both finished the game happy, and that became the pattern of the entire weekend.
5-way, 2-way, 3-way, 2-way, then another 2-way. The only thing nobody chopped was the daily free buy, because 77 GB had already carried the tickets home, man.
Monday's Phil's Deep Stack Thrills had 32 entries. Son of a Fisherman finished fourth for $14.80. Randalorian took third for $19.74. No Deals Dalton finished second for $29.69. And Jocelyn took first for $31.77 after another 2-way deal was made.
Another deal. No Deals Dalton was involved. Again, we are witnessing a full identity crisis in real time here, Philip.
So when I look back at all 3 nights, the results were not really the story. The story was how often people reached the end, looked at each other, and decided everybody could leave with something.
Which sounds lovely, but let's be honest. Half those conversations probably started with, "How tired are you, what?"
Of course they did. That is part of the tournament poker. Stack sizes matter, blind levels matter, the next payout matters, the time matters, whether somebody has work in the morning matters. A good deal takes all of that into account.
And sometimes your spouse texts, "Are you nearly done?" That is the strongest ICM pressure known to mankind.
Absolutely. You can have the chip lead, but when that message comes in, your effective stack size is 6 big blinds.
Deal. Good game. Start the car.
But I like that everybody found an ending, because a chop does not erase the poker that came before it. It does not erase the decisions. It does not erase the hands. It does not erase the people who busted along the way. You still had to get there.
Nobody walks in, buys one stack, orders a Pepsi, and receives chap money for excellent attendance.
Exactly. You earn the right to be part of that conversation. And sometimes the smartest ending is not forcing the final confrontation. Sometimes the smartest ending is recognizing that everybody at the table has already done enough.
Listen to you. 3 nights of chapping and now you're the Dalai Lama of deal making?
I'm just saying, not every winner has to take everything. Sometimes 5 people leave happy. Sometimes 2 people solve a problem. Sometimes a ticket moves to the person who can actually use it. And sometimes no Deals Dalton makes another deal, because apparently words no longer have meaning.
Finally, the truth. Justice has been served.
And as we get deeper into this final stretch of season 7, I think I'm noticing the endings a little more. Not because anything is over today, it isn't. We still have games, we still have scoops, we still have plenty of poker ahead. But when you know a chapter is getting closer to the end, you start paying attention to how people leave the table.
Here we go. He's getting emotional over a 5-way chap. Somebody hide the sad music, man.
I'm not getting emotional.
Your voice dropped half an octave by. You're 2 sentences away from thinking the chair.
I'm just saying that the money gets divided. The chips get bagged. The tickets change hands. The tournament ends. But the people, the names, and the stories, those are what stay.
Fair enough, though I'm still taking the chair when we move.
You are not taking the chair.
Then I want half its value in a 2-way deal.
Tonight, live at Sal's room, Turbulent Tuesday starts at 7:30 p.m. It's a $60 buy-in, $40 rebuys for the first hour, and a $20 add-on.
Turbulent Tuesday, the game where the chips move quickly and somebody says, "I knew you had it," immediately after paying to see it.
Online today starts at 1 o'clock with the SummerSlam Step 2 satellite. At 3 o'clock, the SummerSlam Step 4 satellite. Today's free rolls for the 550 and 850 Step 1s fire off at 5.
2 free rolls at 5. So charge your phone, feed the children, tell your boss you have developed a sudden interest in summer athletics.
At 7 o'clock, the SummerSlam Step 4 satellite to the big one. Also at 7, our nightly 4 cards, bad decisions PLO game.
4 cards, bad decisions. Finally, an honest tournament title.
At 8 o'clock, the 550 Step 2 nightly shuffle. Also the 850 Step 2 nightly shuffle. At 8:30 is the Flop and Pop. 9 o'clock, Phil's Deep Stack Thrills. And at 10, Ryland's Jam Smash Crash.
That schedule starts at 1 in the afternoon and ends with a Jam Smash Crash at 10. That is not a poker lineup. That is a full day of poor financial judgment.
And if tonight follows the pattern from the last 3 nights, somebody will probably make another deal.
No Deals Dalton is already stretching by.
Saturday gave us a 5-way chop. Sunday gave us a 2-way chop and a 3-way deal. Monday gave us 2 more deals and a ticket that found its way to Calvin Lake. Nobody took it all, but plenty of people left with something.
And that is not a week ending. That is a room full of people deciding there was enough to go around.
That is exactly it. The game still had winners, the room still had stories, and everybody who reached the end helped decide what the ending looked like.
Beautiful. Now chop the outro with me.
Absolutely not.
No deal?
No deal. I'm fucking Phil. This is Sal's Scoop. Thanks for watching. See you on the felt and run good, you legend.